Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and hi everyone. Welcome to my lecture for Chapter 8, Pollution Prevention and Control. So for this chapter, we have three parts. Part 1, Cleaner Production, Part 2, Hazardous Waste Management, and Part 3, Solid Waste Management. So for today, my lecture will be on Part 1. The title for Part 1 is Cleaner Production. First, we need to know what is the concept of cleaner production. So as we know, all businesses use resources of one kind or another to produce products and deliver service for meeting needs of other business and or communities. So in this process, some resources remain unspent or unwanted products get produced as a waste because 100% conversion transfer of resources is seldom possible. So these waste, when discharged to the environment, cause pollution. This is the example of one manufacturing process, which is it is extraction of palm oil. So as we know, I have shown this figure to you in previous class. In producing oil palm, the raw material that we use is oil palm fruit, and the output is about 90% of them is become waste, and the products only cater for 10%, which is palm kernel oil. So from this example, how we want to implement a cleaner production concept will be elaborated further in this lecture. Okay, let's see what is the definition of cleaner production. So cleaner production, by definition, is the continuous applications. It's not only one atom, it's not only two atoms or three or more, but it is a continuous attempt of an integrated preventive environmental strategy applied to processes, products, and services to increase overall efficiency and reduce risk to humans and environment. When we convert the definition to a flow chart, so it will become like this. As what I said just now, cleaner production is a preventive, integrative, and continuous strategy that applied to products, processes, services to increase efficiency and improve environmental performance and reduce costs. So the purpose of this cleaner production is to reduce risk and to gain competitive advantage. Okay guys, let's see what cleaner production can be done for production processes, products, and services. So for production processes, it includes conserving raw materials and energy, eliminating toxic raw materials, and reducing the quantity and toxicity of all emissions and waste before they leave a process. So what you have seen in this slide is the example of orange juice manufacturing in Australia. So for this company, they want to extract orange juice from orange, but they are producing a byproduct which is a waste orange or known as orange peels. And this byproduct, they're selling them to other company as a stock feed for their manufacturing process. To produce another product. However, they counter that before they sell the orange peel, they need to do the drying process. And from the process, they were created 4 million tons of effluent a month, which they counter that they are causing environmental problems. So after their management assessed this problem, they found that some of the effluent components, namely citrus oil and sugar, could be captured and sold to other companies to make a new product. Then the top management make some technological investment, because when they want to extract the citrus oil, they need to improvise or they need to do a modification for their technological investment. So they invest about $1 million Australian dollar, and they resulted in 450 of saving in waste disposal cost per year by implementing that investment. And then when they sell the citrus oil and sugar, they get income. So from the investment and the saving cost, they get income approximately about 250,000 Australian dollar from the sale of citrus oil and molasses. So this is the example how cleaner production can be implemented for a production process. Okay, next, for products, it maybe focuses on reducing impacts along the entire life cycle of the product, from raw material extraction to the ultimate disposal of the product. So as you can see here, this is the example of battery product. So through funding provided by the United States Agency for International Development, a Tunisia lead acid battery manufacturer saved over US dollar 2.2 million in 2 years from an investment of 400,000. So they invest 400,000 to a modification of their technology, but then they through the implementation, they implement 19 pollution prevention options, and the cost of treating chemical was reduced by 66%, and the cost associated with future pollution prevention technology was reduced by 33%. The consequences is the employee health was improved, energy and water consumption was reduced, less lead was required in the process, and wastewater quality was improved. So this is the advantages of implementing cleaner production for a product. For services, it incorporates environmental concern in designing and delivering service. So I give you one example. For instance, a banking system. So nowadays, all banking systems such as account opening application, money transfer, application for other purposes were implemented through online system. So this system was significantly reduced the usage of papers and other things that contribute to the production of waste. So I think all of the banking company are going for paperless. So from that, they will also, I'm sure that they will also can reduce their capital costs in the usage of unnecessary papers and other products in their banking system. Alright, so this is the overview of a cleaner production. So from the definition and from the example that I have explained before, so it is obviously that CP required changing attitude, okay, because it's responsible for environmental management to evaluate the technology options. So later on, as an environmental officer, you need to inculcate the attitudes in top management, convincing them so that they will responsible for environment, and then they can start to think what is the technology option to implement cleaner production in their company. Okay guys, have you heard the words pollution prevention before? And I know you must be confused between the terms of cleaner production and pollution prevention. So what is the difference between these two concepts? So first I will explain about the similarity, and then next is the difference between these both concepts. Okay, the similarity, PP and CP emphasize environmental management through source reduction rather than pollution control method. And these two concepts should not be considered as absolute state, but rather a process which continually evolves with the introduction of improved technology and innovative ideas. So what is the difference? The difference is PP is an environmental management concept which can be applied to all sectors, while CP is a technique designed more specifically for sectors dealing with production process like the manufacturing sector. So please remember the differences between these two concepts, okay? I repeat again, PP is an environmental management concept and CP is a technique designed for specifically manufacturing sectors. Okay, you can see this diagram. So PP can be applied to all of these categories, but CP only applies to the shaded area, mostly to the manufacturing sectors. So the government office may adopt a PP program, whereas an industrial plant may want to focus on only CP techniques. Okay, there are a few principles of cleaner production. The first one is a waste elimination and reduction. So in implementing CP, we need to make sure that all types of waste or byproduct they are producing from our company, such as hazardous waste, solid waste, liquid and gaseous waste, and includes also waste heat, must be eliminated or must be reduced to achieve zero waste production. And then second, non-polluting production, which is for ideal production process in our manufacturing process. We try to achieve zero contaminant release as possible as we can. Okay, for production energy efficiency, CP require energy efficiency and conservation. So among of the effort that can be done is highest ratio of energy consumption to product output and energy conservation or reduction of energy. Okay, what about safe and healthy work environment? CP strives to minimize the risk of workers in order to make the workplace a cleaner, safer and healthier environment. Okay, and then environmentally sound product. We try to make environmental appropriate for our product, which is a final product, for health and environmental factors in a process design and consider full product life cycle. We will see a life cycle assessment in next chapter of this course. Okay, and then environmentally sound packaging. For product packaging, we try to minimize a packaging as much as possible, and the packaging also must be environmentally friendly. Try to avoid the material that have longer degradation time, and try to introduce a biodegradable material to our product packaging. Okay. What is the approaches of cleaner production? There are 4 approaches that can be done. The first one is the precautionary approach, where the potential polluters must prove that a substance or activity will do not harm. And then the second one is the preventive approach, prevent pollution at source rather than after it has been created. And then democratic control, workers, consumers and communities all have access to information and are involved in decision making. It means that not only the environmental officer or top management can implement the CP, but it takes all stakeholders in the company. And then last one, integrated and holistic approach, address all material as well as energy. So everything must be included in implementing a CP production for the company. Okay, this flow chart shows a cleaner production management process. The first thing in this process is start with plan and organize. So before embark any cleaner production strategy, it is important to obtain a senior management support and commitment, to seek approval for the necessary resources of people and funds. For organization to commence a new strategy, it is advisable to commence with pilot project, meaning that a pilot project is a small scale project before implementing to the holistic approach. And then after that, extend to other areas of the organization. So 3 organizational aspects that need to be addressed is a change organization culture, And then have the right people in the right place and navigate the organization's politics. So go back to the overview of CP that have been explained previously, which is changing in attitudes. And then second phase of the process is initial assessment and ongoing assessment. In this process, we need to gather the technical and historical data to establish a good understanding of the organization, product and production process. So this includes to get the data on a manufacturing process input, for example, energy and materials, and then data on the product outputs, and also the data for unwanted outputs, for example, emission to air, land and water. And then next is waste, and then direct and indirect costs of producing the emission and waste. So a process flow diagram linked to a mass balance that will assist in identifying all waste and opportunities for eliminating them from the manufacturing process. Okay, and then the third process is a cleaner production option. There are so many options in cleaner productions. So this table shows the items that can be considered when you want to implement a cleaner production in any elements in the manufacturing process. So it is important to identify a range of production area, opportunities and project for assessment, and within a particular project, identify several options for implementation. So initial assessment can assist in prioritizing projects to identify which have the greatest potential to achieve initial success with least expenditure on funds. So, for example, for the raw materials element, the CP options, for instance, maybe can be implemented is reduce hazardous material, and then avoid generation of hazardous waste, buy purer materials, and make material substitution. And then the second one, the element for technology change. The example for CP option is modify equipment to reduce waste and emission, use more automation rather than manual, and then change process condition, flow, temperature, pressure, and residence time, and improve energy efficiency. And then for number 3, better housekeeping element. The method, for instance, change management and administrative procedure, change operating practice, provide training, try to segregate waste, try to avoid leaks and spills by doing a better housekeeping, introduce better production scheduling, handling and inventory practices, avoid double work, and then change accounting practices, for example, direct charging of waste to product. And then next one, product change element. The example is improve quality standards, try to change a product composition, try to make use of more environmentally products, improve product durability, make product substitution, and redesign products, for example, use life cycle assessment. And last one, reuse and recycling elements. The example are reuse waste on site and make use of recycled raw materials. Okay, go back to this slide. So after cleaner production options, the next process is to evaluate options. So in this option, we will need to subject to a technical, financial assessment as well as environmental assessment. So the environmental assessment will need to be rigorous to be able to stand alongside the other two traditional aspects. So because cleaner production program could involve over the medium term a substantial change to the way of organization do business, the organization and culture needed to be identified. Okay, after that, implement CP. So to implement CP, need to be progressive, going from pilot project and then upgrade to multiple project and then upgraded to program involving large parts of the organization. So, marketing, education, and training are important to the success of the program. Okay, and then management feedback loop. To produce a culture of continuing improvement, it is important to include the feedback loop of monitoring achievement, reviewing, and reassessing plan. So for accounting and technical information system, they will need to establish to record performance and provide sufficient information for review the progress and establish a new priorities and program. Okay, for cost reduction, they will consist of internal and external aspect. For internal, it may be affect direct cost of material and energy embodied in emission and waste. And for indirect costs of producing waste, for example, extra organizational overheads, utilization of extra capacity of staffs and manufacturing equipment, cost of treatment and disposal of waste and emission fees. And for external cost reduction, it may contribute to life cycle costs of using and dispose of products and environmental cleanup costs from emission created in the production and the use of products. Okay, for the tools and techniques in implementing CP, a company may provide eco-labeling and then life cycle assessment. Life cycle assessment is a technique to assess the environmental aspect and potential impact associated with a product, process, and services that we will going to learn in the next chapter. And then try to design for environment and try to build eco-efficiency of waste of raw materials, and then industry ecology. Implementing EMS, which is ISO 14000, is also one of the tools and techniques for CP. And then, of course, when you want to implement in EMS, you must also implement the audits, and then occupational health and safety systems, green globes, public environmental reporting, and environmental indicator. Importance of cleaner production. For the importance of CP, we can divide it into two, which are environmental and economical aspect. For environmentally, it provides a concrete and long-term technique to eliminate or reduce such emission, such as carbon dioxide and sulfur dioxide. And then CP can address a global environmental issue such as climate change, acid precipitation, and urban smog. And in the long term, a comprehensive restoration of the natural environment increases health and living standard while creating a safer and more enjoyable habitat for all species. And then, in terms of economically, prior experience with CP programs have proven that further environmental damage can be averted in a cost-effective manner. In a majority of the cases, CP programs have actually saved money, not wasting money, and then more successful than simple pollution control methods in providing social benefit to the public. Okay, what is the benefits of cleaner production for industry? The benefits can be divided into 4 terms. The first one is reduction of operating costs. When reducing a material cost by adopting production and packaging procedure that consume fewer resources, the operating cost can be reduced. And then, waste management and disposal costs are obvious and readily measured potential savings to be realized from pollution prevention. Many government regulations, procedures, and methods for the handling of certain waste require high costs, so these costs can be avoided through a CP program. CP is efficiency measures such as production, scheduling, and equipment maintenance can be decreased overall production costs. And then energy costs as well as facility clean-up costs also reduced through CP program. Number 2, reduction of ecological damage. For example, air quality will increase as a result of reduction of pollutants entering the air. And then in terms of water and land aspect, it will not be contaminated but with pollutants which may potentially leak from waste generation, transportation, storage and disposal activities. Number 3 is reduction of civil and criminal liability. It means decreases liability because the total volume of waste generated is reduced, even if the waste generated is not currently defined as toxic or hazardous. It is still in the producer's best interest to adopt CP program. And then the last part, improve company image. CP programs can improve company image both within and outside of its walls. Employees react more positively toward management, which place a priority on providing a safe working environment. And then employees also react positively when they are included in the planning and implementation of CP programs. The surrounding communities and potential customers will also react favorably toward the establishment of CP program because they are concerned with the health, safety and suitability of their neighborhoods. In implementing CP, there are also the barriers which inhibit the process of CP. The first one, individuals are often hesitant to change an already established process or method. Many are under the impression that CP programs will actually cost more than existing practice. And then it is uncertain whether or not customer will accept the change he made in implementing a CP program. And last one, in many situations, other projects may have higher priority than CP programs. So that is the end of our lecture for Chapter 8, Part 1, Cleaner Production. Thank you for listening, guys. Bye-bye.